Thank you, Mr. Macedo. Ms. Gina Garrow.
Good evening, fellow citizens. First of all, let me start by saying it's been both an honor and a privilege to have served my first term as a city councillor for the city of Prince Rupert. During the last 3 years, I have gained considerable knowledge, understanding, and experience in regards to how the city of Prince Rupert operates and functions under the community charter. I have represented the City Council as an alternate on the Skeena Queen Charlotte Regional District, as well as a director on the Board of Tourism in Prince Rupert. As an individual, I have sat on the board of the Community Futures of the Pacific Northwest, and have also in the past served as a director on the board of the Prince Rupert and District Chamber of Commerce. A vote for me is a vote for dedication. It's a vote for integrity, a vote for knowledge and understanding, it's a vote for commitment, and most of all, a vote for experience. We have huge challenges ahead of us, and I'm up to these challenges. I'm a team player, I'm an innovative and creative and forward thinker. I'm also a good listener. I have huge concerns and am interested in finding ways to preserve and maintain our infrastructure, our economic tax base, our recreation facilities, our library, our fire hall, our museum, our performing arts center, just to name a few. I would like to engage our community in town hall meetings in order to prioritize these and to gather ideas. I'm a small business operator and I've been for the last 28 years. I was born and raised in the community. I've raised a family here and I intend on retiring here. This is my home and I care about where I live. On November 19th, I'm asking you to vote for me, Gina Garrow, to bring the experience, understanding and knowledge I have gained back to the council table. Thank you for your time, and good evening.
Ms. Judy Carlick-Pearson.
Good evening, everyone, and my name is Judy Carlick-Pearson, and I'm quite proud to be sitting up here with the other candidates. My platform is to build a safe and economically sound community that will benefit absolutely everyone. I grew up in Prince Rupert. I enjoyed my childhood. I felt very attached to Prince Rupert and always had the inclination that one day I would return home. I went to Booth School and I went to Charles Hayes School. I'm an active volunteer in the community. More than anything, I'm really attached to the people of Prince Rupert because I think that the people of Prince Rupert have so much potential in the terms of an education experience. And not only that, a lot of people in Prince Rupert are very caring and also giving. I believe that Prince Rupert can get back to that vibrant stature that it once was back before I left to go to college. I realize that we can't rely on the same industries that once made our city flourish, but what we can do is we can work together to work towards those goals, to getting back to that vibrant stature. We have to build a new start for ourselves. We can do this together. And as a city candidate, I can promise you that I will be honest, transparent, hardworking, diligent, and do everything that I can to be a strong voice between you, the community members, and myself. This city has the potential to shine again economically, and we need to focus on a few points. My platform, I'd like to focus on the development and the health of small businesses, economic development, community safety, and focus on the environment, and that we have no risk to the environment if we are promoting our economic development. Thank you very much. Please vote for me.
Mr. James Kirk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Kirk. I was born and raised and educated here in Prince Rupert, and I've lived and worked here for approximately 67 years. As a recent retiree, I have ample time to devote to the City Council and the residents of Prince Rupert. I have witnessed all the booms and busts which we have experienced, and over the course of my life, and both the eyes of the employer and employee, I have worked at both management and sales in the industrial equipment sector. For some 10 years, I've owned and operated Port Edmonton Marine Supply, so I understand the difficulties of small business throughout the good times and bad. I've held executive positions in the Elks as well as the Royal Canadian Legion. I also have had many years as a volunteer firefighter. I have chosen to run for council at this time for several reasons. We have to control taxes. That's one of the biggest issues that I've been confronted with, and I believe we got to get down and get to the nitty-gritty. Cut taxes or stabilize taxes to a point where we are able to maintain the style of life that we're used to. Watson Island is another situation that I think that we should be able to get more information just exactly what is happening, and it seems that we're not getting much of that either. Our fire department and our CMP, we've been talking about a complex. I don't think the citizens of Prince Rupert can afford any tax increases at this time. I think we have to look at perhaps repairing the areas that are needed in our RCMP building, as well as our fire hall. Alaska Ferry, once again, I don't know what's going on there. Our airport ferry, we have to cut costs somehow or other. We've got to get back to something normal. And basically, I guess I'm running out of time. Thank you. Please vote for me in November 19th.
Mr. Rob Valley.
Here we go. My name is Rob Valley, and of course, you know I'm running for City Council. I've been a resident of Prince Rupert for 27 years. Currently, I'm a computer technician, and that's probably where a lot of you guys know me. I was the guy that started Data Boy, and I've been in a lot of your business, a lot of your houses, and I have a unique opportunity of getting to speak to a lot of you guys and hear a lot of what you care about the city. That's one of the reasons I'm running, because a lot of times when I'm doing my job, we don't just talk about computers, we talk about, you know, what the city needs and everything else, and that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to bring you guys to City Council. I'm a very, very approachable person, and I feel that that would be a benefit. What can I do? Well, let's fight for Rupert. Let's, you know, I don't care about Kitimat. I'm sick and tired of hearing what Kitimat's getting, what's going on there, what's going on in Terrace. I think Rupert is the most important thing. Also, I think as a council, we met with the Port Authority, and I think it's very important that we understand that right now they hold the key. You know, they are the leaseholder or the manager of the lands that that can make the future of this town. And I think City Council should work closer with them. What do you call it? And also, like, that's the key, of course, for the taxes. I mean, that's the bottom line. Anything that, as a council, that we want to do, of course, it all takes money. And until that happens, I think, you know, it's going to be delayed till we can move forward. And I think that's where we got to go. We got to work with these people, work with getting businesses in, and there. Not a very public speaker, but thanks for the opportunity.
Ms. Karina Moore.
Good evening. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Shipshean territory. I'm seeking your vote for mayor because I believe that Prince Rupert can do better. Leadership is about guidance, sharing a vision, and working together to make it happen. It's not about how many years you have on the job. It's about what you can do on the job. I've worked in the real estate industry, retail, and I have been a small business owner, and I do have my bachelor's degree in social work. I do have extensive skill set to bring to the table. I believe council must be more transparent in ways it conducts its business. We need open lines of communication, a dialogue, where information is shared and citizens of our community are part of the decisions being made. I know Prince Rupert does come together with reasonable access to key services such as affordable housing, medical, and health services. We must rebuild our local economy, finding the right balance between the building prosperity and maintaining our quality of life. I believe in the fiscal responsibility of the budget that is planned with the public and community environment that says to our investors we are open for business. We must manage our spending in order to address our infrastructure deficit. This means evaluating our assets and liabilities and finding alternative sources of funding and revenue instead of always relying upon tax increases. We must challenge and hold management accountable to this goal. Our city has been operating on this is how we do things. It is time to start moving our community forward. As your mayor, I will bring a new style of leadership to the council table that is more collaborative and respectful. You deserve better, and we can do better. On November the 19th, remember, we need Mo Hart in Prince Rupert. Thank you.
Mr. Conrad Lewis.
Simpigan, Sigamana, Gabawalsik, Conrad B. Lewis, Dwyer, and Waps Widali, Kiswadwada, Kayaka. Ladies and gentlemen, elders, my name is Conrad B. Lewis and I belong to the House of Widali. My crest is Killawell and a descendant of Kikala. My parents are Reverend Sam and Bertha Lewis. Our family was raised in Port Edward. I married June Lewis in 1982 and moved to Prince Rupert. We have 5 children, Basil, Constance, Christian, June, and Patricia, and 2 grandsons, Matthew and Tristan. With your support, I hope to be elected as councillor for the City of Prince Rupert. I bring 35 years in the fishing industry and in the UFAW CAW. I'm an active long-time shop steward and a current General Executive Board member. I have strong interpersonal skills. I'm politically cognizant with good organizational skills and a good understanding of financial reports. I'm respectful and resourceful, transparent and approachable. I'm intrepid, yet at the same time very respectful of the needs and wishes of others. I headed up a successful campaign against fish farms, and I lobbied against and battled with EI over the term volunteerism. As a past recipient of the Volunteer of the Year Award, this was a prideful victory. As a basketball organizer and union rep, negotiator, environmentalist, I have effectively challenged a wide variety of political, educational, environmental, and organizational concerns. As councillor, I will continue to do so, as well as focusing on infrastructure, quality of life, and social and economic development. I believe with a passion that organizing recreational activities for our youth will in turn produce healthy young adults. Advocating financial stability and pursuing economic development through new work opportunities will in turn produce a stable family environment. Stable family environments will produce a healthy, vibrant community. And healthy, vibrant communities will produce leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Ms. Joy Thorkelson.
I always need a watch. Chief, matriarchs, ladies and gentlemen, firstly I'd like to acknowledge that our forum tonight is taking place on the traditional territory of the Tsimshian, and I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this event. I am Joy Thorkelson. I moved to Prince Rupert from Vancouver 37 years ago. I am married, we have 2 sons, and I work for the United Fishermen and Allied Workers Union. I've been privileged to serve 2 terms as a councillor, and I'm asking for your support for a 3rd term. As councillor, I believe that I have listened intently, done my homework, researched issues well, debated fairly and respectfully, and voted thoughtfully. I have worked for openness and transparency in council matters. However, I agree that council has to do a better job of communicating and needs to improve the engagement and inclusion of the public. I believe that we should continue our partnerships with local First Nations. The Drug and Alcohol Day Treatment Program was a result of that partnership, and we need to more fully engage our own Aboriginal citizens in city affairs. Prince Rupert is a multicultural community, and Council's job should be to make everyone feel that they belong to our city. Our residents' knowledge, skill, connections, and enthusiasm are all needed to rebuild our community and a vibrant economy. I care deeply about the city and its residents, and I believe that in order for Prince Rupert to succeed as a healthy and vibrant community, we not only have to have a strong and diverse economy and good-paying jobs, but we also need a good social infrastructure. I believe in the old adages, and I believe in the adages that we're only as strong as our weakest link, It takes a town to raise a child, and the old Union saying, in caring for one, we care for all. Thank you.
Ms. Jennifer Rice.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Rice, and I would be honored to be one of your representatives on City Council. It is challenging to communicate who I am and what I'm all about in less than 2 minutes. So what I hope you leave with tonight is knowing that I am pragmatic, resourceful, and creative. All important traits to have when expected to accomplish so much in a city with such financial constraints. What I can ensure is that when faced with making decisions on behalf of all of us who live here, is that I will don a lens of sustainability, planning for our collective future. As a community traditionally dependent on one industry to provide employment, we need a council that encourages a diversified economy, that builds a resilient community, not a dependent community. We can shape our future rather than opening the doors to any and every proposal without considering how it affects the people and the environment, the life force of this community. In today's global economy, we are challenged with finding meaningful jobs that support a healthy livelihood. However, I do believe opportunities exist. I will advocate for the needed education and training to be situated here in Prince Rupert, so our youth have opportunities and a vested interest in staying in the community. As the Port of Prince Rupert expands to become an internationally competitive port, I will advocate for not only locals gaining jobs, but programs that keep families in the community and puts businesses in the empty storefronts. This means encouraging economies that take into consideration the health and well-being of workers, the sourcing of local materials, and with a commitment for long-term viability. I want to hear from all of you, and I'll go out of my way to engage the people who live here. I will tap into my creative and resourceful self to help mobilize our community. If you elect me on November 19th, votejenrice.com for more information. Thank you.
Ms. Kathy Bedard.
Chiefs and matriarchs of the Tsimshian Nation, ladies and gentlemen, I've been elected by you for 5 consecutive terms as your city councillor. I represent you in every way possible, from provincial, federal, and locally. I believe in respect for all, no matter what our background or where we live. I want to respond by a comment that a person that is employed or otherwise committed may not be able to fulfill the office as mayor. Get me busy and I'll get things done. I guess that's why Mayor Municipal has asked me to chair the Medical Equipment and Facilities Committee and to chair the city's 100th birthday committee. Fair warning to my council candidates, you will have a portfolio, you will attend committee meetings, you will sit on task force, and you will play an acting mayor role. We will change the access to city council. We will provide one evening as a committee of the whole, so we grant more access to groups and individuals to the city council to present their views. I look forward to a prosperous city. I look forward to employment and jobs for our people, an exciting future for our educated children to come back for and participate in. Professionally, I play a part in moving people forward, building new skills, opportunities for jobs, and a better future for all. I'm a woman of this city. I'm a volunteer. I've worked with Communities Against Drugs. I've contributed art to the Rotary and AFNO and Chamber. I sat on anti-racism committees. With your help, we will work together for a better future. With your help, we will have a strong council. With your vote, I will dedicate myself for another 3 years as your representative. Thank you.
Mr. Gabe McLean.
Don't start timing yet, I can't see. Thank you. In my opinion, there are only two issues in this election: the budget and how it is prioritized, and community growth through industry development. Every other discussion, whether it is social, business, or any other item discussed during this election, depends on the successful management of these two issues. The goal of city-owned corporations or service providers must be to put positive cash flow into the hands of the taxpayers. Hello everyone, my name is Dave McLean. I'm a 35-year resident. I was employed by the Prince Rupert Airport Authority until I retired in March of 2010. In connection with my views on the budget and growth, I would add this. I will vote to get approval from taxpayers before any tax increases beyond inflation rates. And I will attempt to keep increases below those inflation rates. Infrastructure and public safety are my two top budgetary concerns. Citizens will receive accurate and timely information from their municipal government. Dialogue with the mayor and council allowing opinions on matters affecting the city, I will support. I would ask City Hall to do a much better job of public relations. I will not support third-party financing and will vote no to financing of any projects or services that are the responsibility of other jurisdictions. I will support measures for recall, municipal auditing, and public opinion rules. My management skills come from private, corporate, and federal training over a period of 15 years, after which time I went to work for the airport with Transport Canada and with the Prince Rupert Airport Authority over 22 years. I have been involved with local organizations from minor hockey to First Nations Health to union representation. These activities over the time span of my residency in Prince Rupert. I am committed to a green community, fiscal responsibility, a community drug and social development plan, and I will also seek to improve the security of our downtown core. Thank you.
Mr. Crystal Holmes.
Howdy folks, thanks for coming out. Thanks to Tom and Chamber of Commerce for putting this on. I first came here, I had at the time today, 40 years ago after high school to visit my sister who worked at Quadra and my brother who was a bellhop at the Crest. It was 10 glorious days in the summer. After graduating from Dawson College in Montreal, I came out here, and as the joke goes, it's rained ever since. Anyway, I worked at the canneries like most young people at the time, was in the UFAWU, worked as a shop steward there. I became a carpenter, working through the Carpenters Union in town, served as a shop steward with them, and served as a trustee on the executive of the union. I started my own business about 20 years ago, and my company is a signatory company to the union agreement. And as part of being a signatory, I helped negotiate a residential contract. I was the provincial appointee to the Board of Variance, and I'm past chairperson of that organization. I'm the co-founder of a society called the North Coast Performers Society. We saw a need for quality of life improvement to provide a musical venue for something between bar bands and, say, chamber orchestras at the PAC. You may know it as mostly unplugged. Basically, 99% of people who put their name forward are doing it because they feel they can make a positive contribution, and so do I. I will provide independent, well-informed decision-making. I have no special interest groups supporting me. I welcome their support. I will work for you, the citizens of Prince Rupert. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson Kinnick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have lived in Prince Rupert for 54 years. I have a beautiful daughter who lives in Calgary with her husband, and I'm going to be a grandfather in January. Prince Rupert is a great community. We need to keep it that way. To do this, we have to let people know that Prince Rupert and the doors are open for business. Attract business and industry investment that create jobs and provide money for our city. Plan to repair, replace our roads, water and sewer in an affordable way. Provide education and training opportunities in Prince Rupert for our young people so they can do the jobs that are made available by new businesses and industries and investment, and so they will stay here. Make sure our seniors stay in Prince Rupert by working with other levels of government to provide affordable living and a better living for them. Reduce the need of taxation increases by finding alternative sources and revenue and other solutions. Manage our spending and look out for better efficiencies. I was first elected in council in November of 2002. My platform is youth, seniors, and industry. And I feel very strongly towards this because I want to see our civic center brought back to what it was, where our programs are not away and we can bring them back. We need our youth back there to keep them here. I've gained much experience and knowledge by being on council for the past few years, and I can only thank you, the citizens of Prince Rupert, for allowing me to represent you. I'm committed to making sure that the voice of every citizen in Prince Rupert is represented on council now and in the future. Thank you very much.
Ms. Anna Ashley.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to thank you for your support over the last term. It's been an honor to represent our community. If re-elected, I will continue working towards openness, transparency, and accountability. It's time to rethink how we do things. It's time for a more inclusive, public participation approach with better communication, increased sharing of information, and a more open and engaging budget process that informs people about the nature of city finances and allows for real input. It's time that we truly engage our community in meaningful dialogue on the issues and the decisions we are making on your behalf. You deserve a real voice, and you deserve to be kept in the loop. We need a comprehensive plan to replace our aging infrastructure in an affordable and sustainable way. We can't wait for things to fail before we fix them. We must explore taxation alternatives, be fiscally responsible in our spending, and focus on your priorities. We need to create a proactive plan to retain and attract business and industry investment that will rejuvenate our local economy. One that says Prince Rupert is ready for business. Our potential and our future depends on our ability to think outside the box and in engaging our entire community. Good governance requires teamwork and the ability to work together. We need people at the council table that share your priorities and a management team that can get the job done. We've been chugging steadily up the hill saying, I think we can. Well, together, I know we can. Let me be your voice on council. I will use my experience to make the changes that you want to see happen. After all, change is inevitable, except maybe when it comes to vending machines. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. We will now move on to 1-minute answers to questions posed by our panel. For the first question, to Mr. George Baker of the CDC.
Hello?
Hello? Is that you?
Simon. Good evening. Candidates, what do you think the city should do in regards to City West?
Mr. Conrad Lewis.
Thank you. What do I think City West should do, or the city should do for regards to City West? I and the rest of the candidates were invited last week to City West for an information session. We listened to their presentations and posed questions and concerns, the very same concerns we hear from our community. I'm a huge promoter of solid democratic process. Open dialect is a helpful tool in dealing with all issues, especially of a contentious nature. The presentations made to us and the issues we raised were all positive. I believe with a passion that the job of the next council is to bridge the two together. I have the ability to work collaboratively together with all despite any differences. I have experience in contractual language and financial reports. We have senior council members who have made experience in...
Thank you. Ms. Joy Thorkelson.
City West has a knowledgeable board of directors and capable management. They have convinced me that they are able to keep up with new technology, that City West is successfully competing and expanding, and that City West is very aware of internet and cell problems and is actively finding ways to resolve them. I understand that the company is financially stable. The Royal Bank investigated City West and agreed to finance it. City West can afford to pay a $1 million dividend to the city for the foreseeable future. Other City West advantages are 50 good-paying jobs, including apprenticeships and local youth hiring program. And secondly, because City West is locally owned and controlled, it is responsive to local industry and educational needs. Residents can influence how City West does business. If we sold City West to put the money into infrastructure, we would have some immediate advantage. Those potholes would certainly be fixed, but we would no longer receive the $1 million annual dividend. Thank you.
Ms. Karina Moore. They all want.